What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, my people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, Chef Don Don. Listen, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Okay, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Listen, first of all, I want to say happy Sunday, fun day to everybody. I hope everybody is doing good. I hope everyone is doing well. Okay. Listen, we are about to get into some things, but before we do that, of course, we got to get some housekeeping things out of the way. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Bang that notification bell, y'all. Please bang that notification bell. All right. Set it to all notifications so you'll know when I drop a video or whenever I do go live. All right. So I do appreciate you all for being here. First of all, please make sure you like that video. It's a free way of supporting the channel. We are here to review Grown in Gospel. Okay. Season 1, episode 1 and 2. We have some children of some legacy, okay, in gospel music, some legends, some true legends in gospel music, and we will get into that here shortly. All right. But of course, I had to get that housekeeping rule out of the way. Listen, if you would like to show some love to the channel, it will be scrolling across the bottom of the screen and periodically placed in the chat. All right. I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am so glad to have you all here with me. Please make sure you engage with me. Comment. Come on, comment, comment. Leave some comments. Make sure you like, engage, because we do want to push this video up in the algorithm. Again, I apologize. I'm late with this, y'all. I apologize. I'm late with this. I was really excited about this show when We TV and Carlos King announced it. Now I know a lot of y'all don't like to give Carlos King, we really don't like to give him a chance. And sometimes I can definitely understand that. However, this show I feel like it's a good show. I do have my things that um I don't necessarily agree with when it comes to some of the cast, but I feel like this is all around a good cast, and it's a very great show because again, we do have nothing but legacy, legends of children. Okay, well, children of legends, childrens of legends. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right. First, we're gonna kick this thing off with episode number 1. All right. So this is episode number 1 of the very first season of Grown and Gospel. So here we go. Now listen, of course, when a show first premiered, we gotta meet the cast. Okay. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't meet the cast. So, we meet Jay, we meet Elijah, but listen. Elijah has the first couple scenes in the very first episode. Okay. Now, if y'all don't know Elijah, Elijah is from the infamous stare from Diddy. So, child, we see Elijah all in a tub, child, rubber dubber dubbing, and he is literally talking about his career. We're meeting him for the first time. His mother is a pastor, and of course, he comes from the church and all of that good stuff. Well, of course, with that infamous stare with Diddy, we do know that he has transitioned from the gospel world over to the R&B world, right? So he actually meets up with this guy who's pretty big, okay, a big old radio guy. And so while he's meeting with them, he's actually talking about the updates to his career. Of course, he wants a new album he wants a mix of music on this new album or this new project. And so he actually drops, a single while he's there. Child, he said he like R&B because baby, he like six. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then we move on, and while we're meeting Elijah, I got my thoughts about Elijah throughout this entire, whole thing here. I would definitely be letting you guys know how I feel about Elijah. Okay. I will definitely be letting y'all know. All right. So then we meet Tasha Page Lockhart. Let me tell you something. I love Tasha Page Lockhart's voice. I love her testimony. She actually did win Sunday Best, but her mom is also known from the group Witness. Okay, that's a legendary group. And they are from Detroit. Okay, so all of these people are from the great city of Detroit. Now, the interesting thing about this is her mom is Lisa Page Brooks. If you guys know Lisa Page Brooks, you know she sings down. Tasha does as well. One of my favorite performances by them was when they did the Mary Mary tribute. I believe it was at the BMI Awards. And baby, when I say they sung down, okay, they sung down, they put their own twist to that song while they were actually honoring Mary Mary. We then meet Jay, okay? Now Jay is just that guy. He seems like the guy that holds all the folks together in the group, you know what I'm saying? But his dad is also from the legendary group Commissioned, all right? And with that being said, like I said, he seems to be the calm to the storm. He seems to be the peacemaker of the actual group child. And I love that about him. And he actually knows how to hold people accountable for exactly what they're doing in the group. Okay. So I'm really here for Jay. Jay seems, like I said, to be that peacemaker, the one to hold the group together and keep the group sane. Okay. And I like that about him. And you need that with an ensemble cast. Now, the cast are friends. They've been knowing each other. They're from Detroit. The only really person that they don't really know much about as a group would be Bree. And we'll be getting into her in just a moment, but that's what that gives me. So we then meet Nikki. Okay. Now, Nikki is the daughter of the legendary Dorinda Clark Cole. Let me tell y'all something. I'm sorry, Dr. Evangelist Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole of the legendary Clark sisters. And she's just all around a great person herself. I actually love me some Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole, but y'all know I love the Clark sisters as well. And that's just, oh, I just love them, okay? But, Nikki is the daughter of Dorinda Clark Cole, but also she is the manager for the actual Clark sisters, the road manager. She keeps things going. So I'm here for Nikki, okay? And I'll be getting into why I like Nikki as a person here in just a moment because I really feel for her in certain instances, and we'll get into that in just a moment, okay? Now, we then um we then at this particular point we see in the scene Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole is talking to Nikki about dates that they have coming up and that different stuff, right? But we also find out that Nikki is living with her mom. And while she is living with her mom, of course, she ain't got that privacy really, but she's in a stable position. Her children are comfortable, she's comfortable, while her husband is actually incarcerated at the very moment. Now, after we get this legendary scene from Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole and Nikki, we then get Nikki's husband actually calling Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole about Nikki's 40th birthday party. Okay. So I was really here for that. He making moves while he locked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess, when somebody holding you down like that, I guess you ain't really got no choice, but it is what it is. We in this thing together, and that's what I get from them. That's the energy that I get from them. We then meet Bree Hammond. Okay, now Bree Hammond is the daughter of the legendary Fred Hammond. Blessed, blessed, we're blessed in the city. Okay, y'all know I can't sing, but anyway, this is the daughter of Fred Hammond. Now we learn in this scene while we meet Bree, we see Bree is trying to really make it on her own, right? And she tells us that she has been having some slight issues when it comes to her father and her relationship, right? She lets us know she's back in Detroit. Okay, we do see her family, we meet her mom, and she lets us know that Fred Hammond and her mom actually did get a divorce. And, she also has an adopted brother. Shout out to them for that, but they actually admit kind of where their relationship is. Now, one thing I gathered from Bree is the fact that Bree kind of seems to make a lot of excuses because of who her father is, right? And I feel like at some point we got to heal from that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing about it is we're about to get into this, but Jay actually holds Bree accountable. You know what I mean? And I was really here for that. Now, in this particular scene, Jay and Bree actually sit down and they have a talk. And as they're having a talk, they begin to speak about, some of the things that may be holding Bree back. But what Jay is doing is holding her accountable without passing aggressive judgment. Okay. Passive aggressive judgment, a judgment that's not really needed, especially when you're trying to see your sister grow. Now, there's a difference between, judgment, and there's a difference between holding someone accountable. And we'll get further into why I don't agree with all the judgmental things that are happening to her in just a moment. But for sure, let's get into the conversation again that Bree is having with Jay. Now, Bree is also, describing, well, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have this. I don't have that. And that's where I began to think that, again, she's looking for maybe it's the fact that she's looking for the okay to do certain things from her father. She's looking for that. Um, yeah, baby, that's okay. Do that stuff, do that. But everybody doesn't parent that way, in a way that it's not necessarily that it's not support, but I'm not really patting you on the back for kind of waiting for my approval for things, because at some point you got to grow up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes there's a lot of things that hold us back because we are honestly looking for the approval from our parents. And because of who Fred Hammond is, that's why I feel like she's looking for that approval. And again, you don't have to search for it so hard. You know what I mean? And so again, we're talking about Bree. We did get to meet Bree's mom. Bree's mom apologizes for the certain things that she's had to drag her through. But this is me. What I want us to stop doing as a community of Black people is apologizing for what we've done in the past without changing our ways, because what that does is it trickles down from generation to generation. And sometimes I know it's hard for us to hear, but that's just truly honestly how I feel about that. Like, we have to be careful with how we tend to do those types of things. That's all I'm really saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with holding someone accountable and actually providing them with the resources that may have helped you get through something. You know what I'm saying? But to be judgmental with that, it ain't cool. So we get this scene with Nikki, y'all. And because Nikki's husband is incarcerated, she's able to FaceTime him. Nowadays they are being able to do a lot of things while incarcerated. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Now, I could see the judgmental piece of this in a sense that, people are going to be judgmental, right? The fact that she is communicating with her husband who's locked up, not quite sure what the cause is or whatever like that. But it seems as if they have a love that's genuine enough for her to hold it down until he gets out. That's what it gives me. Now I can't even be, I can't be fake about it. I got to keep it a buck. And I think that this is what makes me like Nikki. It seems like her loyalty, and she did tell us, that she was rebellious, back growing up. But it seems like, again, she kind of holds like a loyal piece to her. Like, it seems like she's very loyal and loyal hearted in a lot of situations. And I feel like, again, they seem on camera. Again, I don't know their personal life, but at least on camera, it looks as if they have a relationship. And I, you know, I, it's so easy to judge people like that. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I don't know where their love sprouted from, but they've been together for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? They have been together for quite some time. Well, anyway, she sets up a little sexy scene, child. She got her little lingerie on and stuff like that. And so he called, and she setting the mood in the room, lighting candles and things like that, eating chocolates on the phone, licking her fingers and things like that. She having a good old time, trying to be sexy, you know what I'm saying? And I was here for it. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I was here for it. It was funny to me. I ain't gonna lie. Me, I gotta keep it 100. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Please like the video. But I'm just, just saying, just keeping it a book, keeping it real. I like that scene because I felt like it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna do that behind closed doors, why not show it on camera? Why not show exactly what you really doing? Now they say this is reality TV. Why not be real about your reality? You know what I'm saying? That's just what I'm saying. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Ah. Okay. All right. So now we get a scene with Jay meeting with pretty much everybody except for Shayna. We have not met Shayna just yet. Okay. We have not met Shayna just yet. But one thing I will say is they have a sit down. They're talking about Bree. They're talking about, well, I'll say this: Jay is being really calm about the situation, but also letting them know what's real. Okay. He's also letting them know that, Bree is using a lot of excuses and he was trying to hold her down. Now, we also find out that Jay and Bree dated. Okay. Jay and Bree definitely dated. And I think that is so big when you can hold your ex accountable. Y'all still have that relationship although both of their dads were in commissioned. It feels like again that they were able to come together and she actually listens to Jay. Now I don't know necessarily if she's willing to apply everything that he's saying, but he's giving her some great nuggets, and so I'm here for that. However, they sit down and they have this conversation, and while they're having this conversation, he's pretty much telling them what's going on. Now, Elijah again is being extra. He is straight extra. We're gonna get into him a little bit further in just a minute, but he's very extra. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is where I'm going to have to get the group, right? Again, there's a difference between passing judgment and being there for someone to hold them accountable, but also love them and apply pressure, but with love. Okay, apply pressure, but with love. And I don't think that that's necessarily what they walked into the situation with. When he was speaking about Bree, it seemed like it was more of let's try to prove such and such, and they already had their mind made up that they were going to pass a little bit of judgment when they saw her because Jay was telling them exactly where she was at in everything. So we are now down at Nikki's birthday. Okay. Now Jay has invited, we are down now at Nikki's birthday party. Okay. Jay has invited Bree down to the birthday party. Okay. And so while we're down at the birthday party, everybody comes in, and everybody sits down. They are, ecstatic as how this is being decorated. Everybody has put in, her husband, Nikki's husband, has put in a lot of effort to give her this extravagant birthday party. He upgrades her ring and all of that great stuff. So it was actually good. We actually get a cameo from Bishop J. Drew Sheard and from Kiara Sheard and from First Lady Karen Clark Sheard. Shout out to them. Of course, that's family. So family was there and we got to see them all. Now, here's my thing with this scene. You got Elijah. He comes in this old sparkly cat suit. He come in here and he's already being judgmental, already knowing who's in the room. He's saying it's gonna be a good time because Karen Clark Sheard, First Lady Karen Clark Sheard, and Bishop is there and all of that stuff. So he says this is gonna be a good time. But again, he's passing more judgment than he is being helpful. He says that he's, pretty blunt. This is just how he is. But I again think that it's very condescending and very aggressive in a sense. So he decides to dig in Bree's head. Okay. Now, this one I'm gonna get Tasha. So Tasha then says she comes in, Bree comes in, she's looking a little Salvation Army-ish. And I'm like, now, Tasha, this is what we're not gonna do. Okay. Because see, when y'all give me a reason to drag y'all, I'm gonna drag y'all, and I hope y'all can take it. I'm pretty sure y'all can. But Tasha, now let's be very clear. You have had your moments, Miss Ma'am, but we gonna talk about this moment that's on the screen. Like your hair is not just what that is. This wig is just not what that is. And so you passing judgment saying that she looking very Salvation Army-ish to me, I didn't like that because what that comes off as is, girl, let's be clear, you started from somewhere, right? You have a testimony. You talk about how you have had to rebuild your life. We've seen you rebuild your life on Sunday best. So you haven't had always had your best moments. Okay. So what we're not about to do is drag somebody for their appearance when you, okay, don't really always got it going on. So I didn't like that. And I don't like passing the extra judgment. It's not needed. And so that's why I have to let her know what time it is. Like you have been there before, so you should be able to understand. Again, there's a difference between accountability and being extra judgmental. Elijah digs all in the hair and stuff like that. And Bree is like, boy, only my boyfriend or my man do stuff like this. He's telling you got a man. I ain't know you had him. Like, stop being disrespectful. And I feel like when Tasha said that there is a line to be drawn, I agree. But I also think you still crossed the line as well, being as judgmental as you were. And not only did you just leave it at the Salvation Army part, you kept going on about it, and that wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You know, you should be able to take that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Again, being super judgmental, but that was pretty much episode 1, okay? That was pretty much episode 1, and I really did enjoy the episode, but just letting y'all know, I don't really appreciate the whole judgmental part of everything again, because I feel like, again, Bree can be held accountable. You can hold her tight, but at the same time, still apply a little bit of grace, because I feel like y'all too hard knowing exactly where y'all came from, especially if she's trying to start over. Okay. So that's just how I feel about that. Y'all like the video, like the video, like the video. Okay, like the video. I don't know what you're waiting on. You don't want to miss none of my uploads. Listen, if you like to be a blessing to the channel, it is going to be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I greatly appreciate it. All right, child. So now we are about to get into episode 2. Okay, we are definitely about to get into episode 2. Now that we've gotten to meet the cast, we are here to now go over episode 2 and give my review and recap for episode 2. Again, I'm giving Grown and Gospel a 10. I'm really am enjoying this show. I enjoy the cast. Again, I told you guys these are children of legends. So let's get into the episode. All right. So this episode starts off with Tasha. Tasha says that Jay asked her to go to the furniture store with Bree. Okay. So they're in the furniture store, they're looking at furniture. Bree is letting them know, like, I can't afford a whole lot of expensive things, but I can definitely stay within my budget. And again, I feel like these, like Elijah and Tasha started somewhere. Now, Bree wasn't aware that Tasha was going to invite Elijah. Okay. But Tasha invites Elijah, and I feel like she knew what she was doing. But in the same token, again, this is where I say that judgmental, passive aggressive type of behavior is not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you need to pick your sister up because of where you have been and just guide her along the way. Help her out. You know what I'm saying? Hold her accountable. But dang, um, anyway, they have a conversation. They sit down, and Bree and Elijah are literally kind of going back and forth because Bree is letting Elijah know, like, right now you're making me feel some type of way because you're being extremely judgmental in this situation. So she wasn't really here for it, and I wasn't either. That's just how I felt about it. Like, I felt like, come on now, like, you ain't got to hound her like this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are here to talk about furniture. Here you are talking about her appearance, talking about her clothes, and I get it. Okay. Natasha tries to get in between them, and I get it. When you love somebody, when you are trying to help somebody else, I was gonna eat Tasha up in this moment because I felt like she could have told her friend, like, yo, like, let's bring it down a little bit. Like, I felt like she wasn't stern enough in the situation, but I felt like she should have been like, yo, let's get this together. Let's try to approach the situation better because you see that she's not necessarily receptive to it. And I agree. Sometimes you do have to be a little harsh with certain people, but I do think that this was extremely too far and it got too far. You know what I'm saying? And I just believe as your sister, holding your sister accountable, it takes a better, like, it's better coming from a woman, you know what I'm saying? It's better coming from a person who's had to pick themselves up and make things happen for themselves, okay? So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? It ain't no reason why y'all not hitting the like button, all right? Hit that like button, hit that like button. All right. So that's pretty much what happened. So they then come to an agreement to trust each other, for Bree to trust Tasha and Elijah with helping hold herself accountable and approach who she really is, because it's very clear that right now she doesn't know who she is, and the fact that her dad is a legend, she's kind of depending on that to kind of make it, and that's not what's going to help her. Like, she has to get it on her own. Just like in episode 1, Tasha said that some of us did have a little help, but we have to do a lot of things on our own, and I think that that's where Bree has to be mentally. Now that we've gotten to meet the cast, we are here to now go over episode 2 and give my review and recap for episode 2. Again, I'm giving Grown and Gospel a 10. I'm really am enjoying this show. I enjoy the cast. Again, I told you guys these are children of legends. So let's get into the episode. All right. So this episode starts off with Tasha. Tasha says that Jay asked her to go to the furniture store with Bree. Okay. So they're in the furniture store, they're looking at furniture. Bree is letting them know, like, I can't afford a whole lot of expensive things, but I can definitely stay within my budget. And again, I feel like these, like Elijah and Tasha started somewhere. Now, Bree wasn't aware that Tasha was going to invite Elijah. Okay. But Tasha invites Elijah, and I feel like she knew what she was doing. But in the same token, again, this is where I say that judgmental, passive aggressive type of behavior is not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you need to pick your sister up because of where you have been and just guide her along the way. Help her out. You know what I'm saying? Hold her accountable. But dang. Um, Anyway, they have a conversation. They sit down, and Bree and Elijah are literally kind of going back and forth because Bree is letting Elijah know, like, right now you're making me feel some type of way because you're being extremely judgmental in this situation. So she wasn't really here for it, and I wasn't either. That's just how I felt about it. Like, I felt like, come on now, like, you ain't got to hound her like this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are here to talk about furniture. Here you are talking about her appearance, talking about her clothes, and I get it. Okay. Now Tasha tries to get in between them, and I get it. When you love somebody, when you are trying to help somebody else, I was gonna eat Tasha up in this moment because I felt like she could have told her friend, like, yo, like, let's bring it down a little bit. Like, I felt like she wasn't stern enough in the situation, but I felt like she should have been like, yo, let's get this together. Let's try to approach the situation better, because you see that she's not necessarily receptive to it. And I agree. Sometimes you do have to be a little harsh with certain people, but I do think that this was extremely too far, and it got too far. You know what I'm saying? And I just believe, as your sister, holding your sister accountable, it takes a better, like, it's better coming from a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's better coming from a person who's had to pick themselves up and make things happen for themselves. Okay. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Okay. It ain't no reason why y'all not hitting the like button. All right. Hit that like button, hit that like button. All right. So that's pretty much what happened. So they then come to an agreement to trust each other, for Bree to trust Tasha and Elijah with helping hold herself accountable and approach who she really is, because it's very clear that right now she doesn't know who she is, and the fact that her dad is a legend, she's kind of depending on that to kind of make it, and that's not what's going to help her. Like, she has to get it on her own. Just like in episode 1, Tasha said that some of us did have a little help, but we have to do a lot of things on our own, and I think that that's where Bree has to be mentally. So, child, then we get down to Elijah's video shoot, right? And so Elijah, everybody is saying that they have gotten kind of got used to Elijah. Elijah has always been this way. But I was truly bothered by how the way Elijah was acting. So Elijah sees balloons. He goes to tossing balloons and telling folks to get out of his dressing room while they're trying to calm him down. trying to give him water, and it just wasn't cool. Like I felt like it was very drama queenish, and yes, I did say drama queen-ish. Okay, that's what it gave. Like you don't have to give all of that extra. And let me tell you something. When you doing all of that, you have to be careful because again, the way that you act follows you wherever you go. And again, that does depend on opportunities, right? Opportunities can be stripped from you by the way that other people see you acting. Now, people see you acting like this on TV. I mean, you give good TV, but come on now, like I thought that that was a lot of extra, throwing the balloons, telling people to get out of the dressing room, all of that. It was extra, okay. But I will also say this too. Like, I also feel like there has to be some type of like I get it. You're stern, you're passionate about your work, but there has to be a level of a way you communicate with people again in this industry that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying like we got to say that. Okay, so Elijah then gets ready to perform. He says that he's wearing leather. I don't know if it was I can't remember. Fur. I think it was fur. But he was wearing this on the stage, child. And so then the man falls out on the stage and I'm like, "Oh my gosh. What is like really going on?" So everybody's questioning it, right? Like was this a part of the act? What we really doing here? Like, why is he really falling out? Like, what was the purpose of this? But he falls out. Okay. Now I say again, frustrated. Okay, but honestly, you can't push yourself to that limit, and I think that that's what he did. But you can't also be what I don't even know the right word. But again, you got to humble yourself in certain situations, and I think humbling yourself puts you in a better position than you know than what you are. Now, everyone says that Elijah wasn't being himself before he did fall out. You know, Bree calls for help. They get the ambulance there, the ambulance, okay, the ambulance. They come. And so, they just pretty much send them off, right? So then Elijah comes back 2 hours later and says that they have pumped 6 bags of fluid into him. And so, Tasha is like, boy, now cut it out with the exaggeration, child. But I want her to just call them lies because that's what it was. Like, do you know how long you would honestly be in the hospital, or how many IVs you would honestly have to get 6 bags of fluid pumped into you for 2 hours? Because that's what the screen said that he was literally coming in 2 hours later from when he was carried out. I was like, child. Anyway, we then get a scene with Tasha, Jay, and Nikki. Okay. Tasha, Jay, and Nikki. All right. And in this scene, they are sitting down having a conversation at Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole's house. And while they're having this conversation, Jay asks about what's going on with Elijah. Did they think that was real? And they all kind of say that he's extra, and that's kind of what he gives. And they kind of felt like it was a little bit of extraness. And again, like I said, when you acting like that, you gotta humble yourself, and that's just what that is. Okay. So we then get introduced. Now, first of all, let me say this. Natasha then asked about Bree and how Bree is doing and all of that, right? And while she's asking how Bree is doing, Jay says that she's been singing background for her dad, but some of those dates are here periodically, so she's not getting what she actually needs to get started. And again, it kind of sounds like she's wanting that validation from her father again, and I'm not sure why. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sure why, but in this particular situation, you got to really understand, although your dad is giving you that platform, you got to be able to do something for yourself on the side, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it should be. And when she had that conversation with Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole, she told her, don't quit your day job. You know what I'm saying? Keep your day job going, babe. So we meet Shayna for the first time. This is Shayna Wilson. She's a worship leader, a mom, an entrepreneur. She is all of that stuff. And she is currently pregnant right now, right? So she meets with Jay. And, Jay and her have been knowing each other for a very, very long time. But Shayna unfortunately lost her mom last year in 2022. So she's kind of trying to heal from that. Now, again, she is from Detroit, like Tasha Page Lockhart. is from Detroit as well. Well, unfortunately, Tasha and Shayna has ran into an issue, right? So and Tasha's husband actually told Tasha that Shayna, Tasha came over and told Shayna all the business about their marriage. Okay. And again, it's kind of giving a little messiness, but there's reality TV. So what would it be without a little messiness? However, Shayna is just like, I would like to mend this relationship because I feel like what you've done is I feel like you just kind of taking a side without actually asking what's going on. And so Tasha, of course, is feeling some type of way because, if I see you as a friend and you're discussing my marriage, why are you discussing my marriage with other people? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be my sister. You're supposed to be able to hold me down. So that's what I'm getting from this, right? But Shayna says that she actually does have a sit down with Tasha. And actually, when she has her sit down with Tasha, Tasha brings Nikki. Shayna tells us that her and Nikki having, they're not really friends. She's friends with Tasha. You know what I'm saying? And so Jay is just kind of trying to figure out why was, Nikki there being Tasha's mouthpiece. And so, Shayna is just like, I don't know what's going on. But Jay also lets us know, he's like, you know what, Shayna can play victim sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not what that is. Like, you can't play victim all the time. So in this particular situation, again, you know, it seems as if Shayna is saying that what Tasha is saying did not happen. What Tasha is saying her husband said to her did not happen. She didn't talk about that. She's never been to her house. He also mentioned something about her being in the car saying these things in the car. And she's like, that's not true. That's just not true. She's not been there. So Jay again is saying that he's trying to get them to a point to where they can coexist. However, they aren't really feeling each other at this very moment. And he knows neither of them to be liars, but he doesn't want to feel like he has to choose sides. He wants to be on the side of right. Okay. And that's most of us situations, especially when you have friendships that break down. You want to be on the side of right. You want to be on whatever the side of right is actually looking like. You know what I mean? And so I was here for him saying that he wants to be on the side of right. So we then get a scene of Elijah picking things out, and he, of course, tells his stylist about Bree, and he throws shade at Bree. Again, I'm here for a little bit of shade, but to kind of ill intently do it, and you a man, so you got to be careful speaking on women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just ain't really here for all of that again. But anyway, we get a birthday party from Bree. Okay. Um, and Bree is having this birthday party at a fellowship hall at a church. It's called Unity, I believe Unity Baptist Church or something like that. But everybody's shading her. Nikki even gives a little shade, but in this, they're just pretty much saying this feels like, what it did back in the day where we have to go to the fellowship hall and fellowship together and all of that good stuff. That's what the birthday party was giving. She had a cake and, they were all throwing shots and, and so that's what that was, right? So Bree finally arrives to the party. Everybody else is there. Shayna comes in. Shayna, you know, Tasha says that she still, has a wall or barrier build up when it comes to Shayna because of the issue that they have. She wasn't expecting to see Nikki. She just wasn't expecting to see them. Okay. So Shayna's there, it feels awkward because they're not speaking to each other. But Bree comes in and they all start giving birthday gifts. Tasha gives money. Elijah gives Saint Laurent, I believe. I believe that's what it was. But anyway, he gives some expensive boots to Brie, right? I ain't no label guy, so East Saint Laurent, whatever it's called. But anyway, he gives Brie some boots, some expensive boots, right? Because the boots that she had on when her, and Tasha was at the furniture store, he wants her to get rid of them, right? So he goes on, and it just again gives like bullying in a sense, okay? Because it's like what you're doing is nagging at her in a sense, and you just need to stop, okay? So Elijah then grabs the mic, and so Bree starts to sing. Of course, they throw their shade about her singing. Tasha says that she just doesn't think that she thinks Bree knows how much talented how talented she actually is and what her talent actually gives. And so in this particular case, I can agree with Tasha in that sense, but I want all of what you're saying to be cohesive and to actually match your actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you shading her in the confessionals, you shading her, but then telling her she still look good. You told her that at Nikki's birthday party, and I just feel like again, it's not necessary. However, Elijah throws her boots in the trash, in the garbage, y'all, in the garbage. Now baby, listen. You're not fit to throw my boots away. Now that's just what you're not about to do. Those boots were special. So she starts to tear up, right? He also puts his finger all in her cake. Now that would have been the moment that I'd have had to tap you, okay? Because what you're not about to do is touch you. First of all, Elijah has to understand personal space. You dug in her hair, you put your finger all in her cake. You're very aggressive when you talk to her. So you gotta calm down. Like you really gotta calm down. You do too much. Okay. Like you really honestly do too much. And here's where I gotta get the rest of the people. Okay. Instead of chasing Bree out of the room when she decides to leave. Y'all should have been telling Elijah where he was wrong at. Like, I don't understand how we gonna hold Bree to this accountability as if she needs to do all of these different things, but then y'all are not holding Elijah accountable as y'all's friend. Y'all keep making excuses. Well, he's this way, he's that way. We've learned how to deal with it over time. No, you gotta speak up and say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt very uncomfortable in that moment because, again, coming from a man, that's just not what that is. And so Bree's having a conversation. Nikki goes out, and this is why I like Nikki. I like me some Nikki because Nikki does seem genuine. Nikki goes out, and Tasha does too. Tasha has this conversation, but again, this is where I just can't really rock with Tasha because I feel like Tasha seems to be closer to Elijah, and she doesn't say anything to Elijah. And again, I feel like as a friend, you got to hold your friend accountable for the actions that they are making. That's not what Tasha does. So again, I just wasn't here for that. But she has a conversation. Bree has a conversation. She ends up getting really emotional about what her dad does. And this is again where I feel like the accountability comes into play. But at the same time, you do have to at least be be receptive to what you were once receptive to because I feel like y'all have been judged in a way, and what you're doing is you're passing that judgment down and you're judging your sister instead of really helping your sister, giving your sister some resources. And when I say some resources, I'm not saying teach somebody how to do something, this, that, but at least guide them, give them the steps that they may can take to help them get to that point, and then you just leave them off to figure it out on their own. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to be judgmental, I feel like give that much. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know what it's like to be judged in the church. You know what it's like to be judged, period. So to see you guys actually act in this way, to me, again, I just feel like there's nobody holding anybody accountable. But I appreciate Nikki in this moment because Nikki decided to console Bree, but yet let Bree know, like, yo, we gotta find Bree. You know what I'm saying? Like Bree can't be wrapped up in Fred Hammond. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what a friend, a good girlfriend, a good friend should do. Help me out in that situation. Don't judge me. Don't put me in a situation to where I feel so bad about what I've done, what I've said, where I am. Like that's just not cool. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, y'all, that's just how I feel about this episode. Episode 1 and 2, okay, of Grown and Gospel. So I'm here for it. Y'all like the video, okay? Like the video. So we did do our good review on this, okay? So let's meet the cast again. This is Jay. Then we have Nikki, we have Elijah, we have Bree, we have Tasha Page Lockhart, and we have Miss Shayna Wilson. Okay. So again, I'm loving this cast. It's very great ensemble cast, although they are all friends. Their parents are legends. Now, I do apologize again that the review for episode 1 and 2 was so late. However, what I will say is what I'm going to do now is on Sundays, I'm going to go ahead and drop my reviews. So next Sunday, we'll do episode 3 and 4. Okay. And then the following Sunday, we'll do episode 5 and 6 because this is only a six episode type of situation. Okay. So I'm here for it. I hope you guys like the show. If not, I hope that you definitely tune into the reviews. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, okay? And make sure you stay tuned in for the rest of the reviews for Grown and Gospel. I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the show. You know, Elijah's a bit extra. You know, Tasha, I love me some Tasha. Love Tasha's voice, her testimony, but I need her to be a little bit more stern and a little bit more real. You know what I'm saying? For Bree, I just need Bree to understand who Bree actually is. Okay. Shayna, I would love for Shayna and Tasha to be able to work out whatever their issue is, but I totally understand when a person is saying that you said something and you saying that you didn't say it. Okay, I get it, but somebody somewhere got to fix that, you know. I love me some Nikki. I told you guys she seems to have a very loyal heart, so I'm really here for Nikki. I've definitely seen Nikki around with the Clark sisters and just being who she is. So, girl, I'm not even judging you for your man being incarcerated and you having to do what you got to do because he seemed like he still hold things down. Now, again, I don't know what the issue may be, but he's holding things down, and that's what that's about. Okay. And then we have Jay. Jay is the peacemaker. He makes everything happen in the group. And so I'm here for him. Okay. I'm here for the whole cast. All right. So this has been my review. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. Comment with me, comment, like the video. And again, I'll catch y'all in the next Grown the Gospel review, which will be next Sunday. All right. Peace, y'all. Peace.